With the new Brexit agreement that launched, everyone's attention turns to the different industries and businesses and how these ones respond to it. Nowadays, every industry situated on this part of the market is being affected not only by the Brexit negotiation, but also the COVID global pandemic, which has kept every market and industry on the verge of the financial crisis.
When thinking about the UK, it is common to relate it with alcohol and wine. British people not only drink as much as its culture demands, but they also produce and sell a significant amount. This English industry is well known all around the world. It is worth £49 billion in economic activity and supports over 350,000 jobs. We are talking about the largest spirits exporter of the world and the second wine world's exporter. The objective of this project is to investigate, analyze, and understand how Brexit affects the specific industry.
We have to take in account that the alcohol industry was market revenue amounting to 53 billion of US dollars in the 2021. Also, in this video, we will better understand how the change in how the alcohol industry was handled before, during, and after Brexit. Also including the agreements that were reached, evaluating the positive and negative impacts in this important industry that is the alcohol.
Before we start talking about the impact of the Brexit on the alcohol industry, it is important to understand what Brexit is. The word Brexit comes from the combination of two words, Britain and exit, and it refers to the process of leaving of the United Kingdom from the European Union. Although the United Kingdom left the European Union on February 1st, 2020, it was in the year 2016 when the voting took place and the process began. As of January 1st, 2021, the relationship between the United Kingdom and the European Union is based on the Trade and Cooperation Agreement, an agreement that represents an important change for citizens, companies, and the administration of both. The agreement establishes certain regulations between both, including issues such as free trade, the framework for economic, social, environmental, and fisheries cooperation, as well as intellectual security and common governance framework. Now let's talk about the general aspects on the alcohol industry on the United Kingdom and the European Union.
The UK alcohol industry was always been one of the largest in the world, before and after Brexit. The sector exports drinks to 139 markets worldwide and supports over 200,000 jobs in the drinks and related hospitality sectors with an annual wage bill of €4 billion and purchased over 300 milliliters of milk and over 200,000 tons of Irish grain every year. The drink industry in numbers. 200,000 people employed across regional and rural economy sectors. €4 billion wage bill every year on this industry. €1 billion is spent on grains and dairy products every year. 12,000 farm families supported by the sector. €7 billion tourist and hospitality sector contribution to this sector. 600,000 whiskey tourists every year, and they also make a projection after all this process of the Brexit that was 1.9 million of whiskey tourists every year by the 2025.
Thanks to the Brexit, there have been many new negotiations regarding the alcohol industry between Britain and the European Union. After January 1st, 2021, every case of a European Union member trying to import alcohol to the UK have been treated with the same rules as the other importers around the world. For example, they must complete a customs declaration and use the relevant customs procedures. To import alcohol, they can also use the Customs Simplified Procedure (CFSP). To use a simplified declaration For imports, they will need to follow a controlled goods procedures and a duty deferment account. It will not be allowed to use a simplified accompanying administrative document SAAD or European Union distance selling arrangement to import excise duty paid goods into Great Britain anymore. Based on the official British government site, in order to be able to export alcohol from Britain to any other European Union member from January 1st, 2021, they will not be able anymore to use the Excise Movement and Control System EMCS to move excise duty suspended goods directly from Great Britain to the European Union. They will need to declare the goods for export on EMCS and submit an electronic customs export declaration. If they move goods without following the relevant customs export procedures at the places they are exported from, they may be liable for excise duty and penalties, and their goods may also be seized. So as you can see, this is way more complicated and long as the procedure it was before.
David Stöckler, a spokesperson for the Deutsche Post Group, an international freight transportation and supply chain service company, told the DB. The global demand for freight capacity is higher than the current available capacity, so freight rates are also increasing. As David makes clear in its statement, that nowadays, because of the Brexit and also the global pandemic, the demand of transportation across the UK and around the globe greatly surpasses the supply for this service. This has caused many problems in many industries, especially the drinking and alcohol industries. Many companies have opted for creating their own network of transportation, and many others have been consistently pushing for a deal that can ease the situation. But all these changes and confusion have affected greatly the logistics of wine and alcohol industry. Because of the Brexit, many different kinds of alcoholic beverages are in shortage of transportation. This causes for these specific drinks to be out of stock in many places, and the country of Spain is a great example of these situations. Many holiday travelers are going to encounter shortage and troubles when wanting to have their favorite drinks in a restaurant or a bar. Again, it's important to mention that all of this disruption between supplier and the client is because of the Brexit negotiation, but also affectations caused by the pandemic.
With this project, we can conclude two important things. The first is that the alcohol industry is very large and supports a big part of the global economy. Specifically, in the UK and in the European Union, the production and consumption of alcohol is enormous. The second conclusion that we can make is that definitely all kinds of conflicts, such as political, economical, or social of any country, have repercussions all over the world. In the case of Brexit, being two world powers in the alcohol industry, they need to continue having these relationships with each other and the rest of the world in order to consume and sell alcohol. Obviously, there have been noticeable changes in the negotiation terms between both sides regarding to alcohol, and the movements of import and export of both may be more difficult, but the peaceful and beneficial relationship for both are maintained.